I love to see the kids come together and come up with a mixed involvement in taking over the farm.
The Roloff family is blowing up. Have you guys seen any of the crazy drama that the Roloffs are making public on social media? I don't think any of the kids has ever been this vocal or shady towards each other. I don't even know where to start. I mean, first off, we all know that the kids have been fighting for years about the farm and who would end up buying it or selling it. And of course, they haven't been super vocal about it on social media, but a lot of drama was going through the rumor mill. Well, everything came to a crashing halt this past week when Matt announced once and for all that he's selling 16 of the 125 acres that make up Roloff Farms for $4 million. So on the surface, that doesn't seem like too much of land. I mean, does it? But Matt even said that he's still going to live on the farm, that they're still going to do pumpkin season as normal, even without those 16 acres. But what he's not bringing up is that the 16 acres are pretty much the entire farm as we know it, because it includes the original barn on the property, the cowboy town, the castle, and pretty much every part of the farm that was ever shown on TV. So you can only imagine how devastating it was for the kids, especially Zach and Jeremy, who have wanted to buy it for years. Even though Matt will still have a lot of the land left, it does seem like, he's selling most of the places on the farm that the kids grew up on. And weirdly enough, Jacob actually leaked the news weeks before his dad when he tweeted the news that his dad was selling and he was helping get it ready to sell. Now, I don't know what's going on with Jacob and his wife Isabel, because after years of pretty much disowning his family, he's back on the farm and he's working there for his dad. In fact, he's the only kid who's currently working there. And it seems like his wife Izzy's running the Roloff Farm social media accounts, because she actually started responding to comments on Matt's post as Roloff Farms defending her husband. So, I mean, can you even deal with how unprofessional that is? If you're going to defend your husband, at least do it from your own account and not from his family's business account. And I've always, loved the Roloffs, but honestly, it's insane how weird this family has become over the years. But Matt selling the farm, interestingly enough, lines up exactly with the new season of Little People Big World. Like, he listed it on Friday, May 12th, and the show premiered on Tuesday, May 17th. And I'm sure it was super upsetting for the kids when the farm was listed on Friday, but the actual drama started on Sunday when Matt posted another picture on Instagram explaining that he's given all of the kids every opportunity to buy the farm, and for the first time ever, one of the Roloff kids actually started airing their dirty laundry on social media. I mean, these people keep quiet when it comes to their family drama, and we have always had to kind of pick apart what's happening based on their social media posts, likes, and comments and whatnot. Well, not this time. So Zach actually posted a response as a comment on Matt's post, and he is mad. He said in quotes, "This post is extremely misguided and false. My dad is manipulating the narrative right before the season comes out, once again like he has for most his life, not taking responsibility for his own actions and blaming others, dragging the family drama that he created and then manipulate the fan base to make himself come out okay." Well, this post is a new shocking low of cowardice and manipulation of his family and kids for his own gain. And I just have a few thoughts about this. At first, I was completely 100% Team Zach on this one. We all know how much Matt has tortured the family over the years, so it wasn't really shocking to me that he pretty much confirmed what we had all seen on TV over the years. It was shocking to me, though, that one of the kids actually said it. I mean, but then the first episode of the season came out, and I've got to say, it's a lot more complicated than Zach's comment would make you think. I mean, I don't even know where to start with this drama, you guys. Pretty much all we know, Zach and Tori wanted to buy the farm after Jeremy and Audrey weren't able to buy the farm from Matt. But when they sat down to actually get a deal done, all, HE double hockey sticks broke loose. I mean, first of all, for some reason, Karen was involved in the discussion. Now, I'm not like a super Karen hater or anything, like I know a lot of people kind of are, but this conversation has literally absolutely zero to do with her. She's not married to Matt, and she doesn't own a stake in the farm. So what does it have to do with her? I mean, it'd be one thing if she were just sitting there and not getting involved, but it really sounds like she was getting involved, and I just think that that is so uncalled for and unnecessary. And according to Zach, she was saying things like, quote, "That's not going to work for us." And it's like, Karen, you don't own the farm, and you're not married to anyone. So, anyway, Zach made an offer based on the valuation that Matt and Amy had gotten when they got divorced. And for those of you that don't know, Matt bought Amy out, the front portion of the farm, aka the 16 acres that he's now selling in 2020 for $1 million. So if you're keeping track, that means that in 2020, 50% of the farm was worth $1 million. Or at least that's what Zach thought was true. So when he came in with his own offer, I would bet that it was probably around the same $1 million mark. And considering that we know that Matt has the entire 16 acres listed for $4 million, it's safe to assume that he probably wanted Zach to pay about $2 million for half of the farm, and Zach and Tori were just not happy about that. Now, this is when things kind of get tricky, and I think it all is just coming down to a lot of miscommunication, because Matt claims that the valuation that was done when he bought Amy out was from 4 years before when they got divorced. And we obviously don't know if that's true or not, but if it is, it makes sense why the value of the farm has changed a lot over the last 4 years. And then Zach and Tori got really weird after that, and that was when I started kind of questioning if I was on their side or not. I mean, first of all, they claimed that Matt got really mean and started telling them that Zach wasn't capable of keeping up with the farm, and Tori said that she wasn't going to let anyone talk to her husband like that. But part of me kind of gets where Matt is coming from. Don't get me wrong, the kids have all worked on the farm for their entire lives, but running an entire farm is a lot of work, and the only real job that Zach's ever had has been filming the show. And Tori might have worked on the farm as a teenager, but that's a lot different than actually running an entire huge business. And maybe if they had been running the farm with Matt over the last few years, him taking over would have made a lot more sense. Or maybe he is capable of it and Matt just didn't want to give up the farm. But that's what Zach and Tori claimed anyway. I mean, but it got even weirder from there, because Zach started playing on Matt's emotions and saying, what's the price of having your grandkids on the farm? And I'm sorry, I get that it's, family, but that is just not professional when you're trying to buy something, and it's not okay to bring in the grandkids into this at all. So maybe I'm wrong, and if you don't agree with me, put in the comments below, really please. But it's like, I've never been the biggest fan of Matt, but I just don't think that's right. And at the end of the day, it is a business decision that he has to make, and selling the farm for less than it's worth wouldn't exactly be the best financial choice. And apparently it turned into a huge fight where they all stopped talking, and Zach and Tori stopped letting Matt and Karen see their kids, until supposedly a few weeks later, they all reunited so that Zach and Tori could tell them that they were moving over an hour away to Battleground, Washington, and they had Jackson announce the news. I just kind of can't get how manipulative this whole thing is. I mean, I've never had a problem with Zach, but it's clear that he learned how to be a parent from his own parents, because this is exactly the kind of thing that Matt and Amy would have done when their kids were growing up. And he even admitted that he told Jackson to do it because he wanted to upset his dad and get a reaction out of him. I mean, it's like, come on, you guys. He was literally upset that his dad didn't have a reaction, and Tori was like, and that's the reason that we're moving. So, you're gonna move over an hour away and take out most likely a giant mortgage on a new house on a whim just to spite your dad because he wouldn't give you a deal on the farm. I mean, it's like, just give me a break. And I honestly think that Matt was planning on selling them a smaller portion of the farm at first because they're still young and they don't have a ton of experience running a business, and wanted to see how they would do with it. But instead, they proved him right when they threw a big, tantrum and moved because they didn't get what they wanted. And Zach even said that he wanted his dad to be a grandfather when working with them on a deal. But that just makes it really obvious that Zach doesn't have any business experience to me, because that's just not how running a business works. It's clear that this was a very emotional thing for Zach, but it was 100% a business decision for Matt. And there's nothing wrong with either of those things. I don't want to be put in the middle, but the way that both of them handled their points of view was just pretty horrible. Both sides was pretty bad. And the house thing was just super strange. So when they were talking about the new house, it was very clear that Zach was still upset and hurt by what happened with his dad, and Tori just keeps going on about how she doesn't care and she's over it, which really came off as cold when you consider the fact that it was a deal to buy Zach's childhood home from his dad. So I'm sure it was probably a very sad thing for him, and Tori just wants to forget about it and move to their new house just a few weeks later. I don't know. I mean, the whole thing just rubbed me the wrong way. But at the end of the day, I honestly think that it's pretty clear that this is just a situation where both Matt and Zach are miscommunicating. I see both sides of it, and both sides kind of actually make sense, but they're not communicating it correctly, and it's really just sad to see. And I really don't think that they'd be fighting this much if they could just get their points across to each other. But I guess we'll see, if they ever get to that point in the new season. But considering that Zach just posted that comment the other day, I really don't think we're going to see resolution happen anytime soon on this new season of Little People Big World. But anyway, guys, like always, what do you guys think? This is kind of an opinionated video, so put in the comments below, whose side are you on? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Kind of crazy. I'm kind of just in the middle. I am leaning actually more towards Matt, but I would love to hear your guys' opinion. Very bizarre, very crazy stuff. And once again, guys, I want to do a huge thank you for watching this video. It means the absolute world to me. If you are new or if you are an existing subscriber, please do me a favor and hit that like, follow, share, subscribe button, and y'all better stay tuned for many more videos.